Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. Ask me how we got here, 'cause you don't know how. You say we're taking on water, yeah, we're sinking now. You're looking all concerned, like we're gonna drown. But we both know how to swim, no worries as we'll fall now. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. I drag you out your mind, and there are days I hate you, but baby, you're still mine. And we have the best times, no matter what we do. And even when we don't, there's nobody I'd rather choose. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me.
Well, hello, everyone. Again, thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time again. Um, you could have chosen to be sorry. Pearl is out right now, my monkey, and I'll probably have to turn the camera off because she'll probably start knocking things over. So just a little forewarning there. But thank you all so much for joining me. Really do appreciate you all. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options anywhere on the internet, anywhere in thy world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is May 31st, 2025. It is currently 10:17 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Little Pearl. All right, guys, we are talking about Johnathan Hoang, who is a young man who has been missing since March 30th, 2025. Johnathan Hoang is described as 5'9", 130 pounds. He's diagnosed with autism. He has a cognitive level of about an 8 or a 9-year-old. His personality is kind, soft spoken. There went my camera, and there went my lights. 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. And he's just a sweet little guy. We're learning finally a lot more stuff about Johnathan, which is really good to know. Let me show you a photo for those of you that don't know who Johnathan is. I will be happy to show you. Just a cute little guy. He really is. Pearl gets in a mood at night. I'm telling you, she goes ham on me. She really does. She gets like a burst of energy at night or something. Okay. This is Johnathan Hung, who again has been missing since March 30th. It's been a while, right? It's been a while since he's been missing. Johnathan, he's not just a name on a flyer. He's a beloved son. He's a beloved brother and a friend to many. His autism means he thrives on routine and familiarity. He also has daily patterns, which is highly unusual, making his disappearance a lot more concerning. So, on the evening of March 30th, 2025, Johnathan was seen at home at 7:30 p.m. preparing for bed. He had just went for a walk that he goes on a walk by himself every day. Family discovered he was not in his room the next morning, March 31st. A relative possibly heard him leave around 5:30 that morning, though the exact time is uncertain. Items taken: he left without his phone or jacket, only took a Wi-Fi only iPad. We're going to get to that more here shortly. Behavioral note: Johnathan was not prone to leaving the house alone, especially without informing his parents. They say, quote, leaving without essentials like his phone or jacket is out of character for Johnathan. The only item he took was Wi-Fi only iPad, which lacks cellular data, making it difficult to track. His family's belief, the family suspects Johnathan may have been lured out of the house under false pretenses and possibly abducted. They emphasize that Johnathan would not leave voluntarily, especially without his usual items. Johnathan's father, Tao Hong, expressed deep concern, stating, quote, we believe someone lured him out of his house under some pretext and they abducted him, end quote. The family's intuition and knowledge of Johnathan's behavior are crucial in understanding the gravity of the situation. All right, so he was reported March 31st, search efforts began promptly. Resources deployed over 150 volunteers, canine units, drones, and helicopters. Extensive search spanned 6 days, totaling over 4,000 man hours. The outcome: no trace of Johnathan found. Ground search suspended pending new leads. Quote, despite a massive search operation, no evidence of Johnathan's whereabouts was uncovered. The lack of finding raises questions about the circumstances of his disappearance, end quote. Authorities have stated there is no evidence of foul play. The case remains classified as a missing persons investigation, not a criminal case. Johnathan's family has problems with that, and you'll know why as soon as I play this video in just 1 second. The family has expressed frustration over the lack of urgency and thoroughness of the investigation. Quote, the family's concerns are valid. Delays in issuing alerts and perceive that have led them to seek additional avenues include hiring a private investigation and legal counsel. Some red flags, theories, and unanswered questions. No surveillance footage, no confirmed sighting of Johnathan on neighborhood cameras. Digital footprint, no activity on his iPad, which lacks cellular data, making tracking difficult. Behavioral consistency, Johnathan's routine's nature makes voluntary departure unlikely. Quote, these inconsistencies suggest Johnathan's disappearance may not be a simple case of a young man leaving his home. The possibility of external involvement cannot be dismissed. Theories to explore. There's voluntary departure, unlikely given the routine of Johnathan, online luring potential contact with someone who has manipulated him, abduction, someone may have taken advantage of his trusting nature, accident, ill harm, possibly an accident leading to his disappearance. Uh, and each theory kind of presents its own questions. But there is a lot of new stuff coming out that I'm getting ready to show you because this is very, very interesting. Please, Pearl. Sorry. All right, so here we go. Give me 2 seconds. I have to pull it up here because it's apparently not wanting to work. Well, where's the video at? I just had it. Hold on. I might have clicked it off. I hope I did. Okay, no, I didn't. Okay, here we go. Let's go, guys. Hit that thumbs up button. I really need y'all to share this out and hit that thumbs up button on this one. This is not a particular popular case on YouTube. But regardless, we need to give it our attention here. It's so important. Every single child deserves every person deserves to be found. So there's that. Credit goes to News Nation. Link will be provided in the description if you would like to view without my commentary and or share it out as well. That would be amazing. Let me just give me 2 seconds, guys, so I can drop this so I don't forget it. News Nation. And then we're going to get, they did a really good piece on him. This is a very baffling story. It really is. And I am
The
appreciative.
21-year-old's
I'm appreciative of Noobs Nation doing missing persons, because a lot of they do it, these cases, not even, if they're not in the news, they still are constantly doing different profiles of missing persons, which is very important.
coat, the money from his piggy bank, and his cell phone. The 21-year-old's family is hoping that even though he doesn't know his own address, he will somehow find his way back to them.
A mother's lonely vigil, waiting for her only son.
It's kind of sad.
If there's a lighthearted moment in the Hoang house, especially one involving a birthday,
Oh, you spit all over.
middle child Johnathan is in the middle of it.
Can I blow out the candles with my hand now? Okay.
So sweet.
You gotta lick the candle. There.
Diagnosed with autism, the 21-year-old's circle doesn't extend past his tight-knit family.
He really doesn't socialize much. He does his daily walk every day from our house up to the school bus stop and come back.
As a young boy, and even as he grew,
Sound chat, what do you mean, Justin? Oh God, where's my computer? Do you know about the conversation about him going to school he wanted to attend? I don't.
Johnathan needed extra support,
What are you doing, Johnny?
aides to help him at school,
Yeah, but what else are you doing? You are.
Yeah, that's right.
And you're laminating.
and comforting routines to de-stress at his home in Arlington, north of Seattle.
He's not capable of doing things like cooking himself a meal or going to a store.
Some people with autism do run off, but not Johnathan.
He keeps to a routine and he asks for permission to do most anything, whether it's going for a walk or even to get a drink of water, he would ask for permission.
And that's why what happened between his bedtime at 7:30 on Sunday, March 30th, and the next morning was instantly distressing.
I was already at work, and then my wife called about 6:38 time frame and said, "Hey, did you take Johnathan to school?"
She sounded frightened and said, "Jonathan's missing." She said, "I can't find him anywhere." And she said, "Should I call the police?" And I said, "Yes, call the police."
First thing we looked,
So this is Jonathan's dad and Jonathan's sister. Jonathan's mom hasn't really spoken
guess
out
what? Did
much.
he take his jacket? Because if he went anywhere, he would have his jacket. So didn't have his favorite jacket on. Didn't
I agree, 7:30 seems a little early for 21 years old for bedtime. I do
bring
agree
his
with that.
wallet, his IDs at home, his passports at home. He has cash that he saved on his little piggy bank. That's all here.
The family found a lower level door unlocked, his mom's gardening shoes missing, along with Jonathan's iPad.
That was another thing that made me really sick when my mom told me, because a lot of people with autism use iPads to self-regulate, but he never took that iPad out of the house.
I don't do these interviews. I've turned down several before this one.
The Hoang family's private investigator shares their growing concern
Yes,
about the
now that you
commitment
mention that, I
deputies
remember
are
that.
making to the case.
The only reason I'm doing this is because I see no other way to actually to get, the attention that this
So this is the private investigator that they hired.
case needs.
The sheriff's office has made multiple postings and
Listen to
alerts
this.
detailing an extensive 6-day effort involving 150 searchers, drones, a helicopter, and canine teams.
I don't see why
Yes,
it's not in the realm of
I do too.
possibility that this could be a criminal investigation.
Okay,
In a tense,
right here, this is Jonathan's mom right here. What you're about to hear in just a second blew my socks off when I heard them say this.
That this could be a criminal investigation.
In a tense, nearly 2-hour meeting with the sheriff and her team, the family pushed to get Johnathan's digital trail preserved. They say his iPad connected to the network once, days after he went missing.
The person who's in possession of the iPad know where Johnathan is, or
They got to find that.
have information that needs to be investigated.
The sheriff's office says the lead detective spoke to an Apple rep who could not confirm a login or any activity from the iPad.
One of your deputies or sheriffs told
Listen.
my mother, oh, he can go off and start a new life if he wants, and he'll probably come home with a wife and 2 kids and a beard, and you'll have a good laugh about it.
The community.
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all freaking hear that? Oh my God. I would have raptured right in front of them. Listen to this again.
Confirm a login or any activity from the iPad.
One of your deputies or sheriffs told my mother, oh, he can go off and start a new life if he wants, and he'll probably come home with a wife and 2 kids and a beard, and you'll have a good laugh about it.
He's got about an 8 to a 12-year-old, age range.
The community taking the Hoang family's pain quite seriously, fanning out in search parties, posting flyers.
One of our families here in our community has had their son has been missing.
And turning to faith.
We're going to pray a prayer just to surround that family.
The last video the family has of Johnathan, shows his routine walk, one he
One of the
returned
police
home
officers.
safely from. For now, his family
Oh, I have not seen this part of the video. This is another video that he was seen on.
His routine walk, one he returned home safely from. For now, his family.
He walks really slow. All the videos I've seen of him, he walks pretty slow. He takes his time.
Waits, for they know the young man who himself still waits eagerly for Santa each year would never leave the safety of his home.
Someone had to.
He waits for Santa each year. That just broke my heart when I heard that. It just broke my heart.
Have taken him, and someone had to have told him he needed to leave.
We just want him back, and our world is just shattered without him.
Joining us now is Johnathan's father, Tao Hoang. Thank you so much for being with us. Every one of the missing cases that we cover, Tao, breaks my heart. But when someone is vulnerable like Johnathan is, I think that it creates a sense of urgency among all of us that we want to bring him home safely to you as soon as possible. What do you want people to know about your son and how they can help in your guys' search?
I don't really know about the mother. The only thing I know is she is a children's author, and she writes books for like elementary, like very first grade, kindergarten level. And she'll write books like about the area that they live in and all that, but I don't really know a lot about them. Now, also, but I will tell you, like, the thing with, him being lured out, the not to say it's impossible, because it's certainly not, but they generally don't lure anyone out that is that has any sort of issues, unless it was just someone he was talking to online that was like fascinated by him or something.
Johnathan is very gullible, very trusting, and he can't do things by himself. So to help him, if anyone sees him, you ask for his name and ask if he needs help. We have a lot of tips from witnesses that said they've seen him, but really don't get the detail needed to confirm by the time law enforcement arrive. They cannot confirm that it was Johnathan or it was the wrong person.
Why would she say something like what, Joanne? What are you talking about, babe?
So I guess the biggest takeaway here is that he's not capable of taking care of himself. He's in distress without his medication, and he would never leave his home, his safety zone, on his own without caution. Someone has really convinced him, persuade him, and very likely through his iPad. That's the only device he used extensively throughout the day to self-regulate. And someone has groomed him to get him out of the house and then abducted him once they got their hands on him.
So let's talk about
he's out there.
The iPad and the digital clues that it might provide.
What was
we
that,
mentioned a
Joan?
moment ago there was a sign-on to the iPad at least once after he disappeared. Do you know where and what that entailed?
Yes, my brother-in-law had called Apple technical.
Oh, shoot. Sorry, guys. I'll fix it. Yeah, that's Debbie. I was reading Debbie's comment. That's a good point, Debbie. That really is a good point. That is that could be something like that. So, why maybe he took a walk every day for a specific reason. I don't know. You never know what people do.
Quite seriously, fanning out in search parties, posting flyers.
One of our families here in our community has had their son has been missing.
And turning to faith.
We're going to pray a prayer just to surround that family.
No, he did. Michelle says, could he have innocently wandered off, and if found and noticed his mental issues, could they? There's no evidence that he wandered off at all. There is no scent. There's nothing on the neighbors' cameras. They looked in the areas, all of that. It looked like when he came back from his last walk, it looked like he was looking at someone in the bushes across, then turns and walks in the house. Really? Have you seen that? I have not seen that.
The last video the family has of Johnathan shows his routine walk, one he returned home safely from. For now, his family waits, for they know the young man who himself still waits
Anything is
eagerly
possible,
for Santa
Michelle, but
each
I just
year
think it's like
would never leave the safety of his home.
Someone had to have taken him,
Yeah.
and someone had to have told him he needed to leave.
We just want him back, and our world is just shattered without him.
Joining us now is Johnathan's father, Hoang. Thank you so
Let me
much for being with
pass
us. Every one of the missing cases that we cover, Tao.
The iPad was online briefly. Technician at Apple.
The iPad and the digital clues that it might provide. We mentioned a moment ago there was a sign-on to the iPad at least once after he disappeared. Do you know where and what that entailed?
Yes, my brother-in-law had called Apple technical support
Listen.
behalf,
Now,
stating that
for those of you that don't know, you're like, why don't they just get on the and check his iPad? Well, he's an adult, right? Even though he still goes to high school, he is still technically an adult. And the family did not have the paperwork set up for that. They was actually getting ready to do that. And so technically, if you're an adult, you're allowed to go missing, right? So they cannot look on his iPad at this point.
iPad
By
was
law.
stolen. So the technician at Apple went online to the database and found that the iPad was online briefly on
Yep.
April 2nd.
Data privacy.
They won't divulge privileged information about the device without.
Okay, April 2nd. Remember, he goes missing March 30th, right? So let's go back to March 30th. That is on a Sunday. And April 2nd, it was online. That's 1, 2, 3 days after he goes missing. They are his caretakers, but they're not legally, technically. And so they're trying to get that fixed.
Warrant or subpoena because for privacy matters. But they did ask,
It
you know,
does.
it was the iPad 5th generation, the serial number, and it matches what Johnathan had at the time.
Okay.
So
I definitely think if he walked out that back door, that he certainly went out the back door. If any doors, most likely, because he said he wanted to stay down in the basement.
that information was passed on to the sheriff department.
I know that's frustrating. It feels like that's a clue that you so desperately want to have, and some of the laws that preclude you from getting that. The night of March 30th, which was a Saturday, into that Sunday morning, somewhere in that time is when Johnathan left. Can you recall his behavior prior to that, like in the hours before? Was there anything unusual?
He went on his usual walk. The only unusual aspect of it was he asked to go sleep downstairs in the guest room that evening. I was on the treadmill running, and he says making a lot of noise. He wants to go downstairs to sleep, and I told him, "Hey, it's really early. I'll be done in an hour or so, way before your bed."
Finally, I don't think the parents have anything to do with it. I really don't either. Certainly, I don't think dad or sister has anything to do with it. If I look at anybody, it would be mom, but she hasn't came out and spoken. But I think someone did take him.
At time, then he said, "Okay." He went away, and I asked him to take a dog out before he go to bed, which he dutifully did. Got his jacket on, got his fitted beanie hat and his shoes, took the dog out, put it away, put his jacket away, and went back to his room. And he came out again a few minutes later holding his iPad, saying, "Hey, Dad, I don't feel well. Do you think I can stay home tomorrow?" And I said, "Well, just sleep on it if you don't."
I wonder if. So he said he wanted to stay home tomorrow. Like, I wondered, was something bothering him at school?
Feel well in the morning, reassess with mom, and you can stay home and you don't feel well. And he kind of nodded and went back into his room. And shortly thereafter, I looked up from the treadmill, and he was on his way downstairs. And I asked him, "Johnathan, where are you going?" He said, "Oh, I'm going to go to sleep." I thought it was kind of odd because I was going to be done soon, but it didn't.
Well, what I do appreciate about the mom is she was there in the police room speaking up for Johnathan. So, dad and sister are being advocates in the public spotlight, and they're all doing it behind.
Occurred to me that to ask him anything more, but I said, "Okay,
have a
good night, Johnathan." And he went downstairs, and that was the last time I saw him.
Yeah. Well, there's no way anyone.
He went to a regular school. You can go to school up until you're 21. to high school.
And could have known. It seemed like a normal night. The sightings, Tao, that had been called in as tips, was he alone in any of these, even though it's tough to verify? Was he with anyone? Is there any helpful information in those
I'm
calls?
glad you're feeling better, Marla.
Unfortunately, most of the sightings were negative. Law enforcement arrived. It was somebody else. It was not him. There was one instance where somebody noticed he was potentially was him with someone else. Unfortunately, when they arrived at the location, he potentially him and the adults he was with were gone. And unfortunately, again, the security camera at that location was not functioning, so they did.
Washington State. Crap, hold on. Sorry, Pearl hit a button. Not nice, Pearl.
He potentially him and the adults he was with were gone. And unfortunately, again, the security camera at that location was not functioning, so they didn't have any footage of it. So a lot of tips, I would say probably thousands of tips has come in, but none of them had yielded any positive identification.
As I'm reading about Johnathan's disappearance, I know you guys have had a lot of support from the Autism Foundation and that community because of Johnathan's diagnosis and some of the challenges that he faces. How have they helped in the searches so far, and also just raising awareness?
It sounds like he may have been groomed.
About your case, so that people are out there talking about Johnathan and looking for him.
Oh my goodness, the community and the public has been so supportive. I don't think we could have bear it without the support. You know, people just went out, the family, friends, just group.
And I have a feeling if he was groomed by anyone, he was groomed by a male.
For people that goes out to put up flyers, they go out and search for him. You know, people come over, you know, neighbors come over and just sit with us. Sometimes it was really hard, just knowing that he's out there by himself. A neighbor organized a candlelight vigil. The whole community came out and, you know, showed their support. You know, I can go on and on, but it was been phenomenal in terms of the physical presence. We have communication comes in from the public. GoFundMe, we didn't expect to get.
I agree. I think it's a male pedo who he's 21 years old. He's vulnerable. And he looks young as well.
Such a huge support. You know, originally we put requests in for $5,000 to, you know, to get some help, to get a PI and some attorney's fees so we can get someone on board to help us, since the sheriff department wasn't acting as a criminal investigation. But I think.
And this is the thing. They have no sort of legal guardianship over him. So because he's 21 years old, even if someone did something like that, they could not do anything. They couldn't do anything about it. because he's a 21-year-old male and he is considered a, you know, it's crazy.
You know, we surpassed that within the first night, and I think it's gone up to close to $50,000 already. So the public has been really helpful, and their support has helped us.
That's the thing. This person now, like, even if they was to find him right now, there's nothing that they could charge them on that I'm aware of. And the reason is, you could say, oh, I didn't know that y'all were looking for him.
Acquire the legal guardianship so that now I can advocate on his behalf. So with that, the attorney has been able to get a court order and a subpoena to Apple and Verizon to get his digital data. Law enforcement declined to do that. They declined to issue letters of preservation that could have, his digital footprint, where he has been previous to his disappearance and afterwards. That is the key to finding him, is his digital footprint. They just haven't been willing to do any of that. And we were devastated when
Michelle, he said that they had just went like at a, I don't know, there was like at a show or something, like a trade show or something, and with autism or something, and they had the paperwork and they was getting ready to fill it out.
30-day deadline came. Typically, that's the time when companies start to purge their data.
It just doesn't seem like law enforcement, I mean, they took it seriously, but after the 6 days, it was just nothing.
So we were begging the sheriff department to please issue letters of preservation for the data, and they would not do that. They would issue subpoena because they don't consider it as a criminal case. And that's really the key to finding him. So this public support has been so helpful, and we're so grateful with the support. So the subpoena was served to Apple and Verizon last week, and we're very helpful with that data. Now we can get more information to start tracing where he has been before he disappeared, and then where he could have been after he left. Because where he goes, his iPad would also track his location as he move around, even though it may not have the data, but the location is always available.
Well, it can also unlock if he was talking to anyone prior to him leaving on the 30th as well. How has this impacted the investigation, and is it deemed criminal at this point, Tao?
Unfortunately, as of last Friday, we got a communication from the sheriff department saying nothing new to report, and that was about it. So they still consider it as a missing person.
Okay, and the guardianship, in order for you to unlock that data, had it been preserved? I mean, since we are past the 30 days, do you know if you'll still have access to the information it might reveal?
Without the letters of preservation from law enforcement,
and
Apple or Verizon,
Lakeside, I think this can be an important lesson to a lot of us, especially if you have vulnerable adults in your family. Get a guardianship ASAP. ASAP.
A communication company don't have to preserve it. They can erase it, or they can push it to their normal protocol.
It is tied because they have no evidence of where he is. They can't get in his iPad. You're allowed to be missing if you're an adult. And these predators out here, they can take advantage of him because he doesn't have papers that makes him, vulnerable, and they don't know where he's at. They can't get in his iPad, so they can't deem it criminal.
So we're really worried because if they have purged it and don't have the data anymore, we lose a critical forensic of knowing exactly where it could be.
How hard is it to not have Johnathan at home? And, we were talking today about so many missing families that are in your situation. It's the unknown that is the hardest to cope with. How are you managing the emotions around all of this and not knowing what's going on with your son?
It's really difficult.
Absolutely.
But it's not about us. It's about Johnathan and his safety. We have a lot of support, like I mentioned earlier. We have families, friends. We have people coming over to pray with us. So we feel very supported. Emotionally, it's unfathomable. You really can't experience and express it until you've gone through it yourself. We've read stories about missing people before, and we always feel bad when we read and find out people that we know went missing. But to have it happen to you, it's devastating, and especially to someone vulnerable like Johnathan, who can't help himself, he can't advocate himself. It's very painful. I try not to think about it too much, because if I think about it, I don't think I can.
His dad, he seems like such a good person, really does. I love the dad.
I don't think I can bear it. But we do have a lot of support, so that helps a lot.
If you could say anything to John.
Really, Casey? Oh my God. Oh my God, Casey, that just makes me want to. Oh my God, that makes me just want to sit here and cry. Oh my God. Ooh.
Johnathan, to reassure him that you guys love him, you care about him, that you won't stop searching. What would you say to your son right now if you could speak to him?
I would say, Johnathan, everything's going to be okay. No matter what happened, we will always.
And his dad with his little accent, it's
always
so
love you.
You can just
We
hear
will
the
never
love in it.
forget you, and we'll be here, and we will not stop looking for you. There's nothing that you can do or anybody can do to make us stop loving you, and we'll be right here waiting for you.
I hope he hears your words, Tao, and if anyone has him, what would your message to them be?
Me too.
I think I would just say that, Johnathan is very special, and we understand why you may want to have him, but he's his own person, and he deserves to.
I need to see when they're doing searches. If they're going to do searches this summer, I may go out there and just see if I can help. God, this breaks my heart about this. Ugh.
Live his own life where he chooses, where he is loved and protected. And, we will not, prosecute anyone who have taken him. We just want him back. And people make mistakes. I make mistakes. It's okay. That's part of being a human being. We all make mistakes, and we grow and learn through it.
You see, that's what an innocent person does. Listen, if you're out there and you did something, we're not going to prosecute. You make mistakes. I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. We just want our son, not like the P-foots who says, "Oh, that's a fake reward." Oh, does anyone have the link for membership? Thank you, Frank.
Natural. And, we will not hold it against you and your friends who has Johnathan. We forgive you. It's okay, right? We just want him back. And just know that, we understand that you go through
Well,
hard
they don't
times
know.
like everyone else. And it's
Very
okay
good,
that
yes.
sometimes you make mistakes because of those hard times and those difficulties. But you can come and rise above that and let him go, and you can be a hero in the story. And we can all have a happy ever after.
I'm going to
do
look
the
that
right
up.
thing. Tao, to you and your
Think about
family, my heart breaks for you. I'm thinking about you, and I pray that Johnathan is home safely soon. Thank you for sharing your son, your joy,
You too,
and
brother.
your search
Thank
with
you.
us.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate.
I don't know if they monitored his iPad. I really don't. He regulated himself a lot on it.
What you do for Johnathan and for the community and for other family members who are also going through the same trauma of missing their loved ones. We really appreciate it, and God bless you.
God bless you, and we are here for you. And for you watching or listening, if you
I missed it earlier, but Lorraine says at least Dad uses his name Johnathan. He uses it, and he uses it a lot. Not only that, but he said earlier, he said, it's not about me, it's about my son. Because she said, how are you guys doing? And he said, it's not about me, it's about my son. And that is what you want to hear. Not a parent saying, oh, look at me, I'm innocent. You should believe me. If you don't believe me, I'm going to yell and scream and call you all these names. It's not about you when your kid is missing. It's about your kid. You would give up your life for them in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. So they live in Arlington, Washington. Arlington, Washington. Let me show you this. This is Sister and Johnathan on the beach. He's just an adorable little guy. He really is just adorable. Bingo, Lakeside. He also doesn't struggle to put into words how he feels about his missing son. There should be no struggle whenever your kid is missing. I hope they've checked local RSOs. Absolutely. And the route that he walked on. This is all the people at the vigil that they had for Johnathan. Mom, Dad. Beautiful area. Just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Johnathan has a page here. And, people can also go to Crime Stoppers and report anonymously as well. Johnathan, I'm going to drop this here in just a second too, because this is important. There is a petition on change.org. Demand urgent action for, is it Snohomish County and the FBI. There's additional petitions for Johnathan. And there's more information. Please share this out on your social media. Sign this if you are so inclined. Mods, let me know if that link populated. The immediate neighborhood has been very supportive. There is another autistic boy in the neighborhood. Yes. Casey, thank you so much. Oh my God, Pearl. Thank you so much for renewing your membership, my dear. Really do appreciate that so very much. Welcome back to the Pearl family. My card just expired and I literally had to reset everything back up. I hate that. Like, I have everything on my card and it's like, oh, I didn't realize I didn't change that until they cut it off. Like, my StreamYard had to go renew my card again. It was like, you need to pay for it. I'm like, sorry. Okay. Here we go. 1 second. So, a lot of stuff here. Again, I'm going to drop that one more time. That link worked, guys. I'm hoping.
That's 21-year-old Johnathan Hoang. County Sheriff's Office is now defending its decision to suspend its search for a missing man in Arlington. That's 21-year-old Johnathan Hoang.
Thank you,
He has
Ginger.
autism. He's been missing for 2 weeks now, and Hoang's family is now accusing deputies of mishandling the case, claiming they didn't properly review leads from a private investigator. But the Sheriff's Office tells Kyra 7 there's been miscommunication about their efforts.
In one of our news releases, we said the search had been suspended. On social media, that was misunderstood as that we were stopping searching for Johnathan. That is not what that meant. That meant the ground teams, the SAR search was suspended and it was being handed off to a detective now to continue following up on leads.
Hoang's family has filed complaints with both the Attorney General's office and with the Sheriff's Office.
And so that's rather old that happened. But I wanted to show you they've been on it from the beginning. Johnathan's sister says, my parents had to celebrate their first Easter without Johnathan in 21 years last month. Yesterday, my dad's 60th birthday was the first birthday in 21 years that my dad spent without Johnathan. We have no new information to share regarding Jonathan's case. They're just absolutely heartbroken. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Isn't that cute? Here was it, a baby. That is so cute. Such a cute kid. That's mom. Splish, splash, another bath. You thought it was so funny when Irene put the washcloth on your head. That's so cute. That's sister. She's older. Than Johnathan. Little bit of a, kind of a big age gap between them. Johnathan, he is sent from heaven above with God's great love. Look at that. Daddy came back from California and you were so happy to see him. He stayed until you went back. He stayed until you went back to California so Irene could start school. That's so cute. I love that. Absolutely love that. Johnathan's dad put this on a while back ago, April 10th. Johnathan's mom, Anne, my better half, is refusing to leave our home, looking and waiting for his return. You hear that, KK? You hear that, Malaya? Refusing to leave the home. We are still astounded by the amazing response and support. That's amazing. She just kind of sits out there. That's exactly right. Did they get it set up to be in Florida? That's amazing. Yeah. God bless her. I just can't imagine. Can't imagine. What a nightmare. What a nightmare, to say the least. Oh, Nurse Sandy, I love you, honey. How long do they think it's going to be, Nurse Sandy, before we will keep, of course, we're going to keep you in our prayers for transplant list. Brandy's she's on the transplant list for and I doubt the family would use the terms in mourning. Well, especially on the next day after they went missing. I agree. Okay. This is brand new from the news.
You failed as a driver. Get a routine. Buckle up. Click it. Don't risk it.
Someone or some people know exactly where he's at today. And we're very hopeful that they'll do the right thing.
Tao Hoang is desperate for answers into his son Johnathan's disappearance, but the 21-year-old's family suspects a possible abduction.
So we believe someone lured him out of the house under some pretext and then abducted him.
Hoang's father, Tao, says Hoang has the mental state of an 8 or 9-year-old. He left home without a cell phone or a jacket at night and didn't tell his parents where he was going, which was unusual for him. Hoang was last seen at his Arlington home in late March, and State Patrol labeled this as an endangered missing persons case.
His pattern of life and behavior in terms of his daily routine is very set. As an autistic young man, he doesn't deviate from them, and he would never leave the house at night. Everybody in this neighborhood knows Johnathan. He has his daily routine, his walk, from the house up to the stop sign.
His family is now offering a $10,000 reward through Crime Stoppers for anonymous tips that could lead to his whereabouts. Why raise this reward now?
We're reaching for any help at all.
Kamal was there for a widespread search involving canine units, helicopters, and around 150 volunteers from 5 county search and rescue teams. The Snohomish County Sheriff's Office suspended the search last month pending any new tips. Hoang's family wants to make sure the case stays top of mind for the public and law enforcement, and they remain hopeful for his return home.
We just want Johnathan back. We love him.
Reporting in Arlington, Jackie Kent, Come On News.
Before you hit the road,
Okay.
the first step is always the same. Buckle up.
Let me show you this. Thank you so much, Joanne. I appreciate that so much. Really do. Okay. The community, the local community, has been so supportive.
Desperate for answers about what happened to Johnathan Hoang. The 21-year-old with autism vanished on March 30th when he left his home in Arlington. And despite an extensive search, his family has been critical of how the Snohomish County Sheriff's Office is handling the case. Well, good evening and thanks for joining us for the Spotlight. I'm David Rose. Johnathan's family is now getting help from a national autism foundation that contends because Johnathan is a vulnerable adult, this case should have immediately been investigated as a crime. The Spotlight's Jennifer Dowling spoke with his dad.
Unbearably painful because we're unable to help him.
Tao Hoang and his son Johnathan, pictured here as a child, have always been close. Since his disappearance, he's feared the worst.
He's scared. He doesn't have his medication.
Loved ones created an online petition April 26th to call for the sheriff's office to elevate it from a missing persons case to a criminal case and to form an interagency task force.
We were just desperate and we just didn't know what to do.
Tao says they were able to get a meeting with the sheriff.
I'm very thankful that we were able to secure Sheriff Johnson's attention. Up until yesterday, we didn't really felt being heard.
The court recently designated him as Johnathan's legal guardian, which has helped him to gather his son's medical history.
So that we have the whole history of his medical record in terms of his disability.
They really are,
so that was not available to us previously. The other one is we now can advocate on his behalf.
He also hopes it will help him gather more of Johnathan's iPad and electronic history.
There is a digital footprint of him somewhere, and that hasn't really been thoroughly invested yet.
I reached out to the sheriff's office about that digital investigation.
Wow.
Investigators say detectives work with Apple, Google, and Microsoft to review any activity on Johnathan's accounts and receive cooperation from all three companies and determine there has been no activity since he was missing. Detectives also conducted a digital analysis of his cell phone and computer that were left behind, but nothing of evidentiary value was found on these devices. Additionally, investigators say Apple is unable to locate the iPad using the Find My app, and it doesn't have cellular data, so it can't be pinged or tracked in real time. Tao says the family is now pushing for investigators to make a formal request called Letters of Preservation to save the data from being wiped.
It's a active investigation. It could very well be done already, but we don't know that for a fact.
Until then, Tao says he'll keep searching.
We know he's asking for help and we cannot help him. So it's really, really hard.
For the Spotlight, I'm Jennifer Dowling.
Oh, that's so sad.
The Autism Foundation is challenging the Sheriff's Office statement that the iPad could not be tracked due to a lack of cellular data. The foundation contends even without that data, iPads can ping Wi-Fi networks, logs of connected routers, MAC addresses, and geolocation history. The foundation goes on to say, quote, "There's no evidence this was pursued or shared, no forensic report has been provided, and no clear explanation has been given as to what steps were taken." The family's also hired a private investigator who has been sending information to the sheriff's office. Everyone just wants to find Johnathan, so please call 911 if you have any information.
He ain't nothing but a dirty
A Snohomish County
old dog.
So they just give it up for the Autism Foundation. They just cut that police precinct on. No, he had a phone burnt popcorn. He didn't take it with him. A perv Lolo. That's who does it. Would hold on one second. Someone just text me. Pearl, stop. You can probably hear her. She's chewing on her little binky. It's like rubber. She's like, can y'all hear her? Can you hear her? She's a mess. So there, I think the family has a, no, that's the change.org. But there's all kinds of stuff here on his Facebook page. It's called Help Us Find Johnathan Hoang, Endangered and Missing Persons. And that's been just amazing. One second. I don't know if I can play the music, but here, I want y'all to see this real quick. It's very beautiful. It's kind of a photo of all of Johnathan and, you know, one second. Washington Lakeside, Arlington, Washington. I think he was taken out by a car, a vehicle of some sort.
People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Birds chirping and I hear my name. Grass is green and so alive. Life is happy, but it's so.
He seemed like to be speaking to it. Well, they have no idea where he is.
Savannah,
They really don't.
I'm coming home, Savannah.
Johnathan Joseph Hoang, also known as JJ. That's his nickname. Town chat, good question. What did Town say? Okay, so he attended Weston High School, where he was part of the transitions program. So I wonder what that means. Transitions to where? Probably maybe college. Yes, if he was mentally similar to an 8-year-old, very vulnerable. Yeah, perhaps. I think that's, yeah, guys, please send that petition. I would greatly appreciate that. Let me see here. I want to talk to y'all because I know a lot of y'all have asked me about this. I just want to kind of transition into something else here on this live very briefly. There was human remains found in Mississippi. And it was about 45 minutes from where Edgar last was, Sonoma County, Mississippi.
Hey, we'll see you then. Developing here at midday, another big story we're following right now. The Panola County Sheriff's Office believes they found human remains at a home. Deputies say they were found yesterday at a home on Barn Acre
this wasn't
Road.
it. Sorry.
Someone called them saying their dog brought back what appears to be human remains. The Sheriff's Office currently working to confirm that. We'll keep you posted as we get more information. Memphis.
Arranged by Jimmy Primo.
Okay,
The
so
ultimate firearm store.
there was remains found. Hold on, I'll pull it up. there was remains found yesterday. Oh, God, Pearl. Sorry. I pray you did not just break my camera. It is 41 minutes. I don't think it has anything to do related to Sebastian. Here's the petition again. I'll drop it again. Right there. Hold on. She's being crazy. I just dropped the petition link again. I don't know. Let me see if there's any sort of update. Let's see if there's an update on this from yesterday. County, Mississippi. Human remains found. Nope. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, it was a skull that they found. Here it is. Um,
51 after a dog found human remains.
Yeah, just in the last few minutes, we have learned that more remains have been found, along with some clothing. WRG's Mike Sirianni is live in Panola County at the Sheriff's Command Post with more on the investigation. Mike, fill us in.
Thank you, Rainbow.
Hey, good afternoon, Greg and Stephanie. Yes, breaking developments here. I'm on Barnacre Road, just southwest of Sardis, and this is where Panola County Sheriff's Office, the MBI, and the medical examiner have set up a command post in this operation. Now, question is, could the remains that were found Thursday be connected to two men that have been missing from Panola County since February? ATVs flying down Barnacre Road Friday. On board, Panola County deputies, MBI agents, and emergency operations staff checking every acre, every creek bed in search of any possible human remains. The search began Thursday after a dog returned home on Barnacre Road with what appeared to be a human skull or part of a human skull. Crews fanned out over a large wooded area but stopped searching at dark because of safety concerns. They were back at it Friday morning and haven't let up. The effort intensified with the possibility that what the dog found could be linked to either one of two Panola County men missing since February. In February, your news...
Pearl. If you go to Memphis, be careful. Nashville's, can be bad, but Memphis, oh my God. Be very careful in Memphis, especially certain parts. Memphis.
Leaders spoke with family members of 47-year-old Larry James Robinson Jr. of Batesville and 33-year-old Wayne Miller of Sardis. Families struggling to find answers on what happened to their loved ones.
He said, Mom, you know you got a birthday coming up. Then he said, I'm going to give you something nice for your birthday. And so I just laughed. And from there on, I just hurried for my baby.
Miller.
Look at there. That's a mother. That's what a mother does. She's got my mic. Hold on. That's what a mother does. She's an older woman and her son's a grown man and sobbing.
Miller's car was found February 5th near Zodiac Park in Memphis. Larry James Robinson Jr. was last seen on January 22nd.
We ask you that you would please come forth and share what you know. If it was your family, you would want somebody to tell you something.
Answers this resident hopes will come sooner than later.
Well, hopefully they'll find
something. I mean, at least give the family some closure.
Yep.
Because obviously they haven't been found alive.
Yep. You got to watch out for certain parts, Brenda, because you're on the corner. You not careful, you're on the corner of crack and Murderville.
All this time, and it's just hard knowing you got somebody out there missing and not know what happened.
That's exactly right. Back out here live in Panola County. And you did mention that the sheriff reported that they have found more human remains and some clothing. The MBI is gathering up that information. It will be sent to Jackson to be analyzed. Now, I'm also told that family members of Robinson and Miller are aware of what's going on out here, of this search effort. And the Sheriff's Department has been keeping them updated. None of the family members were out here today while this was going on. Reporting for your news leader live from Panola County, Mike Suriani, WREG News Channel 3.
All right. Anxious time for families out there. Hopefully they'll get some answers soon. Mike, thanks.
Yes, Carol. They're always your kids. You know what I mean? They're always your kids. Doesn't matter. All right, guys, thank you all so much for joining me. I love you. I appreciate you. I've got to get this monkey to bed or she's going to kick my ass. So I appreciate you. Justice for Johnathan Hoang. We pray that some answers come in very, very soon. I pray that he's okay. I hope that he is out there safe. And police get on this. I think all these missing younger than, yeah. Thank you all so much. Share that petition out on your social media, please. Share this live out if you would be so kind. I would greatly appreciate it. God bless you all. Good night and God bless. Thank you.